we go.
I see it. There you go.
All right, here we go. Hi, I'm Joanna with the Unicorn and a Fairy, here with my wonderful friends. They were gracious enough to be here with me tonight on what a wonderful day. We're the 24th of May, 2025. We've got big things happening. And I just like they're here to join me in challenging everybody to make a positive change, not just today, but going forward in this like amazing period we've got going on. I want to start off with Deborah. She's going to explain to us what's going on astrologically. So, Deborah, go ahead and take it away for us.
Thanks. Um, so I keep talking about 2025 as a bridge year because we have these major, the what we call the outer planets, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, all within a very short period of time, changing signs. It's not unusual for the outer planets to change signs, but for all of them to change signs in a very condensed period of time is pretty big. Pluto made its final move into Aquarius back in November. Probably heard astrologers talking about that. Neptune just moved into Aries. Saturn is going to join Neptune in Aries tomorrow or Sunday, depending on when, 25th, 26th, depending on where you are in the world. And then a little bit later, in a little bit later around August or so, Uranus moves into its next sign, Gemini. Now, I know that for most of you that don't follow astrology, that's just like sort of what I call astro speak. The main point is that you have all of these and the planets are just symbolic of certain types of energy. So there are different types of energy that we experience, and the outer planets are our experience of the external world, our communities, our whether it's our neighborhood or our families or our workplace or the global collective. And to have all four of these planets, each of which represent different aspects of like culture and spirituality and science and technology and and global equity, all of those concepts, to have all of those changing signs in a very short period of time is really significant. Like when people talk about, oh, this is historical times, this is really like this has not happened in thousands and thousands of years. So
That's
if there's
why I
kind of
wanted
this
to hop
feeling,
on. Yeah.
it's like this is big, right? But the thing is, 2025 is a bridge year. It takes those outer planets move very slowly, the transition from one sign into the other, because it is global collective and it takes a while for us to integrate it. Takes a while. So there's a sense of like the planets, you hear about Mercury retrograde moving forward and backwards. All the planets do that. All of the planets. We don't talk about the other ones as much. Mercury gets all the press and all the blame for everything too, but moving forward so that 2025 is this year where the planets kind of move into that energy and then move back into the old one and then move forward again. Everything doesn't really settle in until February of 2026. That's when Saturn and Neptune settle into Aries. Pluto's already settled into Aquarius, and Uranus will be settled into Gemini. And again, everything, health, science, technology, education, equity, justice, the global consciousness, transformation of ancestral lines, healing, all kinds of aspects of human consciousness are being invited to embrace the possibilities of this new energy. But new energy always has shadow sides as well. So we're also trying to be careful. There's a lot of talk around that with AI, the pluses and minuses. On an individual level, single most important thing, particularly now that we're in Gemini right now, and there's all this energy, like big Gemini energy, because Jupiter is in Gemini. That's really opening up our mind, really tapping in. And it's like, oh, I've got this idea and I got this idea. I just did a post and I did it while I was at this beautiful market and I kept getting distracted by things going by. And that's so Gemini. It's like, I'm talking about this, but oh, this over here and this over here. So to understand that we there's this very dynamic energy. We don't want to leap before we look. Yes, there's a concept of taking a leap of faith. If you're going to take a leap of faith, there are two things you need. Number one, pack your own parachute so you have a soft landing. And that's your faith system. That's your spiritual belief system of like, who's got my back? Who's going to hold on to, how am I going to land? And then also have a sense of direction. If I watch people who do like the parasailing where they jump off cliffs and parasail or things like that, And there's a sense of guiding it and having it. So for
Well,
us
that's
right now,
Saturn, don't you
Gemini,
think? I mean, Saturn is the principle of the zodiac. I mean,
it's
of the,
right.
it's the principle.
It's having that sense of structure. I think I talked about the concept of water, which is Neptune and Saturn, which is the structure. It's like in order to work with the water, you need the structure, you need the cup. It's really hard to carry water from the faucet to your mouth if you don't have a cup of some kind, or if
Well,
you're hiking to carry it with you, right?
I think of
Yeah.
Saturn as the principal and Jupiter as Santa Claus.
Mhm. Oh
So when
yeah,
you're
I see what
like,
you're saying. The principal in terms of the one who's
yes,
the
yes,
rules
yes.
and the ben yeah, Jupiter says, opportunities and optimism and believe in the
Yes.
positive aspects. But Gemini is going to test us for the next couple of weeks to really stay focused. So if you get really scattered, that the real key right now going in this bridge year is to see the possibilities and to know which ones, try out different things, but to know from your own self. We talk about this in my amazing spiritual coach business coaching group. What is your why? What we call the
Hmm.
North Star. What is it? What is the why of what you're wanting to manifest? And the why is always not the thing you're trying to manifest, but the feeling, the experience you're trying to have. Am I trying to manifest more prosperity? Am I trying to manifest more security? Am I trying to manifest more equity and justice? Am I trying to manifest more empowerment, more healing, peace, whatever it is? It's that feeling, and that focusing on that and then looking at things of like, well, if I try this, is this going to bring me more of this feeling? But Gemini is like offering us all these opportunities of like, oh, try this, try this. So it's a really great time, like for the next 3 months, to just be open to all of these amazing possibilities, but also not to get too pulled off track. It's kind of, playing with the things, having, trying out different things, meeting new people, making new contacts, getting new information. You can get download after download after download. It can get overwhelming. And remembering we have the right to say, okay, wait, stop. I need some clarification which direction to go in. So that in a
Right.
nutshell is this big moment we're in.
Yeah, I think it's huge. So I am so grateful that you all came on, and I figured we'd, I think like pause again, like you said, take a pause, take a breath, like have support groups around you, the people who are your soul family, talk to each other about what's going on before you leap. I mean, I'm a Sag. I have Saturn in Gemini. I know all about Gemini is my sister sign. It's fun. All of these things, I think it's wonderful that we can have each other to bounce things off of. I just love the fact that we can come together and pause and do this. It's a big time. And I thought maybe we'd pull a card and see what we get for what is it that we want. And if anyone has anything else that they think is a good question going into Gemini season, what is it that we think? Um, um, what is the positive change we'd like to see we could make going forward? Or collectively, what is a positive change we can make? And let's see what we come up with. I know I'm not the best at making questions. I mean, today I've been like I have been scattered today. I'd love for all of you to unmute.
One of the things I think about with Gemini and all the stuff that's been coming to me is it's just like, if I'm looking at something and I feel sort of stuck or I'm stuck with it, it's like, you know, I pull it the Hanged Man card a lot from Tarot
Mm,
recently. New perspective. So maybe
yeah.
Gemini, maybe we could ask what am I what in our life, in our collective, or in my experience, am I being invited to see in a from a new
I
perspective?
love the Hangman has become my favorite, one of my favorite cards.
Hmm. Hmm. So we
It
could
gives me,
ask for
yeah,
clarification in terms of, what new, what am I asked to look at in a new way?
Okay. Yeah, I love that. And I want everybody to know out there that every single one of us has the power to create change, no matter how small everyone thinks that is. Because I think sometimes we think that we don't have that power. And I absolutely, no matter, you go out to the grocery store, you smile at somebody. No matter, I mean, you wave at somebody, you think to yourself, oh, I did that. I'm starting this thing. I mean, and one of our other friends, like, um, every day, I started this today. A win. Somebody said, like today, I love your hair. I mean, I get that a lot, but I, they said something else to me. I put that in here. I'm going to put my wins every day. I'm going to cut them up and put them in here because sometimes we forget. So no matter how, and I believe it goes to the collective, not just me. Yeah. So, all right, Deborah, what was the question again?
I was thinking from Gemini, what the question I'm working with is what is this Gemini season inviting me or encouraging me to look at from a new perspective? And it is I'm using Karen Kay's the Oracle of the Fairies. I'm using my travel mini deck, and I pulled the inner it's gonna be a little shiny, the inner child card, which is fascinating to me because in some of the recent things that I have been working on, a lot of inner child stuff has been coming up. But it's been coming up in a way I'm like, oh, wait, I see this. And I know how to, for example, tell this part of myself, myself at this age, listen, it's okay, we've discovered a minor problem, whatever, I've got this, I can fix this. And no, you don't it doesn't you don't have to fix it. I'm the adult, I can fix it. You go play, you go have fun, I can take care of this, and don't worry about it. It doesn't have to be done right away, because I was raised with this is a problem, or there's a mistake, or there's something that has to be taken care of. It's your responsibility, and you need to fix it, and you need to fix it now. So, and I was raised with that kind of, part of it was generational, but, and so to me, to have the inner child coming, I'm saying, seeing my inner child from that different perspective, like, and saying, thank you for bringing this to my attention. I'm like, okay, we can breathe, and I see this, and I'm going to fix this and take care of it. And I've got time. I don't have to drop everything and do it now, and write myself a little note, and we got this. And that was just a beautiful affirmation of look at this from a new perspective.
I love it. I love it. Lori, you want to go next? Bridget? Jean?
I pulled two cards.
Oh, good. Let's hear them.
I pulled them from the Denise Lynn Coaching Oracle. I first was going to pull them from Angel Wisdom, and then I'm like, no, let's go this way, because shuffling that many cards with a baby in your hand's not easy. Communication. So,
Oh, yeah.
which is so beautiful. I love this card, but it's also about communicating. I looked in the book just for the affirmation, but it's about communicating from the heart. So the affirmation I have is, I communicate from my heart, and love surrounds and protects me.
That's perfect for Gemini season.
Right. And then purification. Cadence likes that card too. So beautiful. I didn't look at the book for this one, but
I love that.
But what deck is that, Bridget?
it's from the Denise Lynn Soul Coaching.
Soul Coaching. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And then I also had to show you a new doll just because.
That's a
Oh,
unicorn.
That's a unicorn. We love that here.
I pulled from Diane Cooper's Magic of the Unicorns, and I got card number 41, Law of Grace. Grace is the solvent that dissolves the cords that bind us to people that we've hurt in thought, word, or deed, or people who've hurt us. And that's what I'm bringing to the Gemini season.
Again, communication.
And the purification card is number 41 also. Just wanted to throw that in there.
Okay.
Laura, you want to go ahead?
So I pulled from the Sisterhood of the Seers Oracle,
Mhm.
which I've only used once, and I got the Seer of Spirit. So it's connecting with guides and asking for assistance from spirit. So I guess it's looking at that from a different perspective and connecting more.
I love that. And I think we've all got there's a theme here. And I'm using Radleigh Valentine's, the Archangel Sword of Light. I got Don't Give Up on Love. It's card number 9. A relationship you cherish can be healed. Allow me to clear the way for forgiveness so that love can thrive again. I think right now during this time of Gemini season that again, communication, anything that we think we're just going to throw away, or that we're so quick to say something, stop, think about it, maybe talk it over. That just what Deborah was talking about earlier, don't be so quick. There's a lot going on. Talk it over with your friends, your soul group, your people, your whoever it is. That there's a lot.
I'm trying to think of who it was that I saw talk about this. You get these little like snippets of things that come up, interviews with people. I'm not sure if it was Mel or not, but uh they were saying that if you if you have something really, weighing on yourself that you want to say to another person, stand in front of a mirror and say it as if you were saying it to yourself. And it's very interesting, because Gemini is the sign of twins, and it's that kind of mirroring. And oftentimes we think, well, all these people around me are so angry. I'm not angry, I'm not angry, but on some level they're mirroring something. So I thought that was a beautiful, I mean, I know mirror work is often really hard, but that is a really interesting, I have done that a couple times when I have needed to have a difficult conversation or ask some questions. And that process of doing it and looking at myself in a mirror as I'm talking has sort of brought a different layer, a different level. It's a really interesting thing to try. It's an interesting exercise.
I didn't like mirror work before we started doing it together, Deborah.
Well, and this is
I
different because with
uh,
mirror work, where you're looking at yourself and you're saying the positive things and stuff. And isn't that interesting that it's so hard for us to just look at us, yourself, and say, you're great, you're fantastic, you're beautiful, I love, just as simple as I love you. I mean, we should love we do love our, on some level we do. But the idea of like, if phrasing your words when you're saying pause and think about, how would I say this? Sometimes we attach all sorts of meaning and assumptions and things to the other person, what they're going to say, what their responses is. But when we just do it like from the heart with grace, I love the grace card, coming up, Jean.
mhm.
That grace is the ability um to understand that. I know sometimes it's really hard, but to accept that in any given moment, people are doing the best that they can, which isn't always it's not the best that they could ever do, but in that moment, it's that it's and knowing that if we were in that, we can say, if I were that person, I wouldn't do this, blah, blah, blah. But there are times in our lives when we've done things
We
that have
can't say
not.
that ever. We can't say that
Yeah, yeah,
because we're not that person, and
yeah.
yeah. So I mean, I learning lessons are we have to love people where they're at. We have to love ourselves where we're at. I don't know if that's the hardest part about it.
Can I add something to that too?
Of course.
One of my mentors years ago told me that it's so important to really be careful with how you speak to people or how you react, because we don't know what they're going through right now. We don't know what their story is right now. So it's like something really tragic could have happened, and how you react, changes everything, So just wanted to add that in too. You know? I don't know why it came to my thoughts. Communication.
Oh,
It's just, and it's like sometimes I think about, because everything that I've been going through in my life, it's like sometimes I think of, seriously, you're going to really say that to me? Do you have any idea what's going on? So it's like things like that too. So, yeah.
well, and I don't think people realize what any of us are going through at any moment in time,
Yeah.
ever.
Ever.
I know they don't.
They don't.
Or they wouldn't say half the things they would say.
Sometimes I think they say things because seeing you a certain way triggers something in them, and they can't deal with it in them.
Right.
So
Right.
how, if they can't deal with how they feel, how can they deal with how you feel?
Right.
And it's a lot easier to be mean or cruel or just shut the person out than trying to deal with your own stuff too.
You're absolutely right. I mean, when I looked at my card, don't give up on love, that to me, this is talking about myself. The first YouTube I did with Kevin, we were talking about mirror work. And the things that I was talking about was looking in the mirror and saying I was worthy, I was loved, I was beautiful. And I was having a hard time even talking about that. And he said, "Are you being triggered?" And we were talking about me being triggered, and I was being triggered. I mean, not I guess being triggered, but it was difficult even talking about that at that moment.
Yeah.
Thinking about that, I couldn't even say those things to myself because I didn't feel worthy. I didn't feel loved. I didn't feel beautiful. I can do it now. It's hard.
Yep.
I think that's
And
the beauty of us having these connections with each other, you
Mhm.
know. And I think um sometimes I've been known to post this in some of our friends threads. And somebody says something about themselves. I'm like, don't talk about my friend that way. It's like, Joanna, don't you talk about Joanna that way, right? Because it's that, and not to be, not like in a shaming way or anything, but like, hey, but that it's like,
Mhm.
stop and think about it. We see each other in such a beautiful way, and just remembering sometimes to say things. It's really easy to sort of forget, falling into the routines and forget to say things, to each other, and so we just reaching out to somebody randomly. Like, I've sort of created this little addition to my routine. Every morning I think to myself, who is someone I haven't texted or messaged or sent an email to, or for my real old school friends, people who don't do technology, sent a card to, um, and just send a message out, send an email, send a message to someone, say, hey, no, I haven't been in touch in a while, but just been thinking of you, hope things are going
That's
well. That's it.
beautiful. I love
And
that.
just reaching out. And I've had a couple people like, oh my gosh, I was just thinking of you, or wonder, it's like, oh, or, I watch you, whenever you go traveling, or the pictures you post, it's so inspiring, thank you for, I have one friend who really physically cannot travel much. And she says, I just, never stop doing that. I love it. So, so you get a little bit of something back, but I'm not doing it to get something back. It was just this idea of reach out, because you never know when it's going to touch someone. Yeah.
And it does touch. I mean, I love looking at your video. I love looking at your pictures. I love looking at the videos. Um, but no matter what everybody does. I mean, I see Jean's pictures too of all of the, no matter if it's the flowers, if it's Guatemala, you, Deborah, your hiking trips, Lori with her pulling her cards, and Bridget with the baby. No matter what it is, I get something out of everyone's lives. I know I'm the biggest cheerleader of everyone, and I know Deborah is my biggest, like, okay, Joanna, where are you? Where have you been? um, I think we all need each other, and that's the biggest. Like, Gemini is really reminding me of, yeah, we need each other. Like, we need to communicate. We need to make sure we've got our groups, and we need to talk to each other. And if you have something, reach out to somebody. Yeah. I mean, so far, I mean, I voiced myself, and I never thought I would. I mean, all of you know, I never thought I would get on a public platform and tell people anything about myself. And here I am talking about myself. And I just think that other people need to know it's okay to voice what it is that you need people to know. And we're here. You have family. You have people that care about you. So, hi.
So you must have known that I was sitting home pouting, right?
Well, here we are. And I just want other people out there to know that they have people that care about them so much. Yeah. So, any last words for everyone out there?
I just want to say something. I'm so thankful
Sure.
for all of you also, because, like this past, almost 8 months, tomorrow's 8 months, it's been a rough journey, and I don't think I could have handled a lot of the stuff that I've handled without each and every one of you. It's been interesting. Who would have thought I'd be where I am? And eventually I'll be on here telling my story too. We're just not ready for that one yet. It's a biggie.
Well,
I
and
think
I
it
think
all happens in divine time,
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
yes, and I think there are a lot of people who need to hear that story, and
For sure.
are in the same position you're in, and
Yeah.
need the support, and will need you.
Yeah, for sure. And I know with each and every one of us, it's like everything that we go through is to help others. So, it's like the challenges that I've been through are for me to help other women that have gone through these challenges and stuff. So, yeah, for sure.
Well, just like my challenges, I get something out of myself helping others, and they help me in
For
turn.
sure.
I mean, it's a beautiful thing.
For sure. Full of soul.
The challenge isn't over. I mean, I wish it were, but yeah.
I have to say that before retirement, I spent my life in mother baby care. And that is a supremely happy, secure baby. And congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, I try. So, that's my goal is to make sure she is.
She is solid. She is solid. She is happy and well done.
Yeah, thank you. That means a lot. Thank you so much. Yeah. She's just opened my heart and brought so much joy to my world. And she's teething right now. Her very first tooth just came through. So it's like someone said to me, they're like, she does not seem like a teething baby. I'm like, yeah. Say hi, friends.
Okay, so I want everybody to know this is so authentic and so off the cuff. Jean, I want everybody to know what you just accomplished. So I can't help myself.
I'm practically bursting. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. So am I.
Yesterday, I received an official letter from the Bishop of the Diocese of Guatemala accepting me as a candidate for ordination. And I'm over the moon about it. I'm very excited.
Okay, so since this is going out there, a lot of people don't know what you did and at what, I don't know if you want, you go ahead, tell your age, it's fine.
I started seminary at the age of 67. I graduated at the age of 70. I went to seminary in the country of Guatemala, and I did it in Spanish. And there are several steps that have to happen, little official things, and I passed them all. And it's happening.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Congratulations,
That's
Jean.
Thank you.
That's amazing. That's so inspiring. And
Thank you.
congratulations.
So I want you to tell your little story about what your brother told you, if that's okay. Because I think this is
when I was contemplating seminary and I was looking at the math. I said, I'm 67 and it's going to take 3.5 years to go through seminary, and I'll be 70 by the time I'm ordained, by the time I finish. And my brother is in spirit. But I heard my brother say, okay, so how old will you be if you don't go to seminary? And I said, okay. So I did. And since we're on the subject, I would like to give homage to Father Ricardo Fromater. He passed away yesterday morning. Father Fromater became a priest at the age of 70, and he founded the church that I go to in Antigua, and he named it St. Alban. And yesterday he passed away. And so tomorrow when I do morning prayer, I'll be adding some prayers for him and his family.
our
I
condolences
wanted to
are
share
with
that too.
all of you and his family.
Thank you.
We are so proud of you. I just, now is the time for anyone to do anything that they have their heart set on. I just was like, this is so huge. And I don't know if it, I mean, I know it's from here on out, but the next, what is it? The next, 9 days, Deborah? I don't even know. I'm just getting download after download after download. And, you know me, I just keep getting stuff and I don't quite get it the same way. I mean, I do get it the same way other people do, but, I'm not an astrologer like Deborah is. But I feel like the next couple of days, the next couple of weeks are going to be very, very important. And then going from here on out, it's a different timeline.
Yeah, we really have been moving further and further to the point of like, I mean, not that we ever really can go back, but we really have moved really past the point of being able to wait to make the choice of what timeline to be on. And that's what people are doing. People are making choices of what timeline to be on, and whatever choice they make, it's part of it is accepting that that's okay. It might shift some relationships in our lives, but that's where they need to be. That's how they need to experience this period of time. And we make our choices too, but it is time to really sort of get very clear. I love the message, the theme really through everything is like coming from the heart. So what's in your heart, and using that. Yeah, this is your GPS. So.
Yeah, and as everyone can see, we're quite a motley crew here. It's not like we have just one specific type of person. We go from an astrologer to a Episcopalian priestess, and we all get along and love one another. And here we are. And love is the common theme. It always is. And when you have that, It's always, it's eternal. And I don't think you can, I know you can never go wrong. So I just think thank you for being here, everyone, and enjoy enjoy Gemini season.
For inviting us.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
thank you all.
for
I love
calling. Yeah,
you.
thank
Thank
you.
you.
All right.
Be well,
Mwah.
everyone. Bye.